Hey there, welcome to day 101 of playing chess every day until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1223 after a loss in our last game, and let's go ahead and jump into a new 15-minute rapid game here today and see what we get. Okay, we're up against 1199, so about 1200 guy. We get d5, let's go d4, let's go d5. Okay, it's London system. So what should I play against the London system? Because I've mostly been playing the Slav. But I think against the London system, what do you want to play? Maybe here and then here? Or do you play here first? Where does this bishop go? Because I know there's the whole c5, queen b6 thing that people struggle to counter a lot of times. Should I play c5 right away? If he takes... Okay, let's just play c5 right away, because I know it's supposed to be good, or at least I think it's supposed to be good. I'll get this knight here first, actually. Okay, let's get the knight here first. I'm going to just try to play what I think is supposed to be pretty good against the London instead of sticking to maybe the typical moves I would normally play. So I think that c5. I'm just not sure about the light square bishop actually. I don't know what I do with that. Okay, let's just play c5. I'm not sure if this is the right move order. I mean, he could take right away. Okay, he does take right away. And I don't know the exact plan to take back, but I think we'll start with this maybe. Go ahead and attack it right there, or do I want... I can't play queen b6 actually because the pawn's there. So let's play here. If he tries to come here, then we'll go check to send him back. And then he goes back, and then I think we just take the pawn. Okay, no, he supports that. So now I can't go check there. Probably go here, attack this pawn. I guess he could defend it. So it's possible that I missed a key move or a part of the move order that I'm supposed to play. Let's just develop the knight here either way. It's a good developing move. We are technically down a pawn though since we sacked this one, but maybe we can use that to control the central squares ourselves. Maybe push here. So don't want to give this up, but we do still have two defenders on it. Okay, he just defends that again. And I guess he's able to push here. What do I do if he pushes here? I think I should play here because I don't really want him to push there. So if he does push, I take, knight takes. He will be threatening this. But I think I should just go ahead and play this actually maybe. Yeah, let's play this first and cut off this threat. Kick the bishop back. This is defended. This is twice defended. Right, start with that. Okay, and then I think we go here. Only thing is if the pawn moves, then I do lose the defender here. So maybe I push again, actually. Push again, and we need to make his knight move. And then we need to be able to defend this pawn with another piece. Or another pawn, but I can't defend it with this pawn. Don't want to push it because then that just reopens the diagonal for him. So I'm going to start by... What should I start by doing? I could also go here and invite this trade by threatening the bishop. If he takes, you take here, here. No, I can't take back with a rook, so I don't like it too much. Okay, I'll probably just play here. But then, yeah, if he does push, I don't want to lose this pawn. Okay, I'm going to play here. I'm just going to threaten his knight first. So then his knight kind of has to commit if he wants to jump to here or here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to do something real quick, and I'm back now. Where were we in the position? Let's see. So he jumped backwards with his knight, and he actually undeveloped it. I thought maybe he would come here, but he didn't go for that. So now this is guarded. He's still threatening to play here, but now the knight can't jump in. So let's play here to defend against this. I do want to get another defender for this pawn. I don't want this to become really weak and have the bishop take it. But actually, I do still have this move now as well to send the bishop moving. He can't go down to here because the queen could just take, so I kind of like that. I think we're able to just trade the bishop, actually, because he won't have anywhere to go. Let's see what he plays and maybe go for that and try to get rid of the bishop, which is putting some pressure on this pawn. But at least now the knight, which is the defender of this pawn, can't be kicked because this pawn's guarding it. And now to think of where to develop my last pieces, my bishops here. So probably light square bishop to here, e6, and then dark square bishop to e7, I think, because it can't really go anywhere else. Light square bishop could also go here to f5. Maybe eye this pawn, and then we also leave this file open to help guard our pawn. That is a little bit weak, at least until this knight can move. So maybe after the knight moves, we don't have to worry, because then we can just connect the pawn there. That will give us a weak light square diagonal here, if we do that. So in that case, maybe his light square bishop ends up here. I could probably go here to prevent that. It's taking a little while to think here. So yeah, let's see what he goes for, but I think my next move probably would be this, because that does a couple things. It attacks the bishop and prepares to maybe support the pawn chain here. Also, his knight is, I mean, since he undeveloped it, it only has this square to go to. His development is not looking super great. Alright, he's double attacking this. If I go here, he can take. I think I probably need to defend that. I guess I go here to defend it. Because if I go here, yeah, he's able to just take. We trade. He takes, so he's gonna win the pawn. And I don't think there's really much of a follow-up that I can do after that. So let's probably just defend. Okay, actually, probably queen here to defend. I mean, it does pin the pawn. The pawn is still guarded here, no, but it pins it, so if he takes here with the knight, then he can win the pawn. I take back, he takes with the queen. If I take the queen, he takes my queen. Is that even? That's kind of hard to keep track of. I don't know if that's an even trade or what. I think maybe I'll just defend here to be safe, so that we don't have any kind of threat of that pin. So we have our two defenders here, and then I might end up needing to actually bring the bishop out this way, since the queen is kind of blocking in our bishop for now. I still would like to play this though, and get his bishop. And if I could remove one of the attackers of this pawn, then I could free up the queen and actually develop the bishop this way. Okay. Makes an escape square, so that probably is a good idea for him. Do I have any other reason to play the knight here? I think maybe to support the pawn. I might still go ahead and play it. I do also have this little, it's not quite an outpost because it can be kicked. So if I do go here and I'm kicked, then where do I go? I don't see great squares to go to. Maybe here, but then that just redevelops his knight with the trade. Just gets rid of his bad knight. So I go here, he goes back. Then maybe I could go here. We could try to kick the knight. Knight moves, we have a double attack here with a fork if he drops back. But, okay, let's try that, because at least we can't immediately be attacked. So we do have some tempo that we're getting on the bishop here. Maybe can create some threats. And if I can create a threat here with the queen. Oh wait, actually no, I can't push this pawn because it's simply blocked by the knight. So that plan doesn't quite work, but at least the knight will be kind of pinned to this. So if I do that, then we do free up our bishop, Dark bishop for development. I think I like that. Otherwise I develop first with the light square bishop. No, I think I'll go here first. Yeah, let's go there. We still have our two defenders here. He has two attackers. Still can't support it with the pawn. But maybe it's still dangerous. Could try to trade the knight off by dropping back here to get rid of his knight. Then he doesn't have as much pressure on this. So this pawn, our pawn here on d4 is kind of restricting his development and his position. But the trade-off that we have right now is that the pawn on e5 is quite weak. So he's able to pile some pressure onto it. So far we're able to hold it together, but if another piece were involved in attacking this, it could become difficult to defend. But again, if I do play g6 and bring the bishop to g7, it could become a supporter of the pawn as well. Although it would be behind the queen in the taking order, so that could become an issue. Okay, queen's attacking the knight. Is there a reason to actually go here though? So we have this fork, king has to take. Are we able to play this with a pin? He's able to take with the queen, so I don't think it works. Take, take. Yeah, I can't quite play this. Unless there was another forcing move I had, maybe here. Okay, so, no, but then I don't have the pin anymore. Because the bishop's blocking, so. The queen, where would the queen move if I go there? Queen can move to here. Can't move there. He could go here. He could go back. I'm not going to make that sacrifice unless I have a clear tactic where I can win something, so. Almost seems like something could work there, but I don't quite see it. Really close to almost working, but. Okay, I think actually I'll just, instead of trying to retreat and trade the knight, which is an option, maybe it is a good option, because it still is an attacker on this pawn. The other option though is just go here, because then I am still threatening actually this. Okay, let's go there. That develops the bishop and it's a tactical threat. So let's try that. And then hopefully we can get castled here soon as well. He's not castled either so far though. And if I can get castled and get a rook behind this pawn, it will feel a lot safer. But yeah, I think at the moment he does kind of need to respond to this threat, because we'll be attacking the queen and the rook over here. See what idea he comes up with. He still can't develop the knight here. He can develop it here. Oh. He attacks the bishop, but he doesn't prevent the tactic though, right? So if he does take here, then I take there, and I guess we take queens, I trade that, but I'm still winning that exchange, plus this pawn here, I think. Actually, he doesn't even take the knight back, right? No, he takes the bishop, so he doesn't take the knight back, but he takes the bishop. I take this pawn. We end up getting some double pawns, but it kind of supports this big pawn chain, so we open the g-file. So yeah, I think it seems like it makes sense to me to still go for this. Unless there's anything I'm missing there. I don't think there's any checks. Okay, let's just try it. And then we'll find out if it doesn't work, but I think it does. Because the main thing is, I don't have any like hanging pieces or anything that he could go attack. But he does just take. So in that case, I think I'll probably actually take his queen first. Because if he takes my queen, I was thinking of taking here first. But then he does double the pawns. Do I want that? If I take, he takes. Then I take. Not sure which order is better, actually. If I take here, he takes, I take. Yeah, I mean, the knight's still trapped in the corner. I think I'm going to end up potentially losing the knight at some point, but it might take some effort for him to get it. I'm not sure, though. Any other ideas? I also have this to simply defend the knight, threaten a discovery, but do I have a discovered attack on the queen? No, I don't have a discovered attack on the queen. Yeah, okay, I think I'm just gonna... Oh wait, he still has the double attack here. I don't really like, actually. If I take... He takes, I take, then he can take there, and take, we trade. Whereas if I take here, he takes, I take, then we support it actually. So I'm going to take first, because then we do support the pawn, and I think he can't take it. So I think that might make more sense after thinking through it a little bit. But yeah, this knight might end up going. It's just a matter of how long will that take exactly. I guess it will be quick, because if he just goes here, then it can't escape. Can't go here. So we took this pawn, we took the rook, he took our bishop, he can take our queen, can support our pawn, he'll probably get the knight back. Yeah, okay, so he goes for that right away. Unfortunately, I can't sack it for a pawn or anything like that. So I think we just have to say goodbye to the knight. I could try to attack his knight. Can't go here. Can't go here. His knight would have to go back. Maybe, can I kick the knight again? Is there any way to actually rescue? There might actually be a way to rescue my knight with a pawn, with tempo. Here? Okay, he can't go here. He could go here. If he goes there, then maybe I can't rescue it. We'll have this. So it's either that or I just immediately develop the bishop. I think I'll try this and just see what he goes for. Do I have a good way to support this pawn though afterwards? No, I think I would push it and then support this one with the rook. And it's already supported, so I think I'm looking to push twice here. I think that would be the plan. So let's go once. If he takes, I take, he takes. But I think he's going to save the knight, because then my knight will still be trapped. But he doesn't have any great squares to go to. Either has to go to the edge here, which he does. Okay, and then this pawn is not defended. So I don't have a way to defend it, so I think I'm going to push it, cut off some of these squares here. He can take the knight, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Although, actually, he is going to take the knight first, probably. Although, wait, actually, could he take this first? I guess he could, because then the knight's still trapped. So I'm thinking if I can play something else besides just pushing the pawn. But I think, actually, that could be a mistake if he takes first, and then I still am unable to save the knight. So, any other ideas here? I don't think so. Actually, what if I jump here? King takes. We push with check. Does that do anything at all? You know, the one thing I like about that is that it completely restricts this other knight still. I might actually go for that. Okay, let's go for that. Just because both these pawns will be cutting off the other knight, so it'll be kind of like out of the game. Okay, he goes back. And it might also be hard for him to get his rook in the game as well, because we're cutting off the king's ability to advance. So despite being down 1 on the material, I don't think we're too bad if we can find some of the right moves here. Okay, this bishop hasn't moved. I think I should develop it. Cutting off a lot of my space over here. If I go here, take, we don't want to open up his rook. I think we want to leave it trapped. I'll probably just bring my rook over or develop this bishop. Is there good? We are threatening maybe a discovery on his rook, but he probably can come down. Can't decide where this bishop should go. Okay, let's put the bishop here, because no, we still don't have a discovery with that, because he takes that way. Alright, gonna make the decision. Bishop will go here. Okay, he can attack it. Honestly, I probably am okay trading it off. I think I'll castle and I'll trade that off. Do I want to go here at all? Because this bishop just, all these pawns on dark squares, it feels like I can't maneuver with my dark square bishop, whereas his is actually good. Maybe I do want to trade it for his instead of trade it for a knight. But his knight's pretty strong here. Can't kick it with a pawn. Okay, so let's here, take back. He's able to take if he wants here. I still like that we're really restricting him with these pawns, but aside from that, I don't have a clear plan. I think let's just get the rooks in the game. Let's forget about the bishop. We'll trade it off for the knight. And then my king also has a clear path into the game, I think. Well, maybe not to here because the bishops are cutting off. Oh, he doesn't take. Okay. Instead, he attacks this pawn. Let's see. Do we have an idea for what we want to do here? That's not anything. I could push. He takes. He's not threatening anything else. Push. We're attacking the rook. Rook moves. He guards that. I could take. No, I don't think I like that because then this pawn is just gonna go down as well. And until there's a good discovery on the rook, with pushing the pawn, then that doesn't seem to make sense. And I don't see a good discovery here. And I like keeping his knight in prison. Oh, actually, my time's really low. Let's go ahead and play something. I guess I'll just defend this pawn for now. Could defend it with the knight and then come that way. No, let's just defend it with this. Okay, again, I think I'm fine. Probably just letting him take that. I think let's get the rooks involved in the game. I think I'll go here. Here maybe with the knight first. Okay, let's just go here, centralize the knight. And then get the rooks over. Knight can come here. There doesn't do anything. Oh, what's the point of that? Oh, because it just attacks the knight. Well, I'm not going to take that. If I take, then he takes the knight. Let's just go here with the rook. If he takes, take back with the bishop. Now the rook is guarding, so now I am threatening to take. Alright, he takes. And yeah, let's take. Knight is now pinned to the rook. Something to be aware of. But he only has one way to attack it for now. So it shouldn't be a big issue. So let's just use our king to get active and try to make that our advantage. Because his is going to have more trouble getting active. And maybe if we can move the king up and get the rooks lined up on this file. That could be useful. Okay, we just take back. Knight's guarded. This pawn is kind of annoying though, because if I push it, it gives him this pass pawn. I don't really want him to have a pass pawn like that, but it's under threat constantly from this light square bishop, so my rook's kind of tied to it. If there was another way to deal with that, that would be nice. Maybe just knight back if I could move the rook though, because then he's not threatening the pawn, he's just threatening a trade. Okay, he attacks this pawn. Ideas there. Well, this bishop is loose. It's hanging. So I could go. No, I can't go there because what can I do? I could go here. Bishop's under attack. And I'm not quite threatening anything. Okay, let's just play there. Maybe. He could attack it again. I probably would just push it again. And then now we are opening up this file to try to infiltrate with the rooks. I mean, this is covered by the light square bishop for now, but I want something to happen over here, but I don't see anything working over here. Here, yeah, no, I'm not sure if anything works there. Okay, he's attacking that pawn. That probably is good for him. I definitely don't want to take and give him free development. I probably will just... What will I do? Bring the rook over? This is still guarded by the king. Or rook goes here and we're threatening. No, we're not threatening that. Okay, let's just bring the rook here to guard. And then when we take back, we'll have tempo on the bishop if he takes. do have some messed up pawns here. Like if he takes this, this is going to be almost isolated because it's so far from this other pawn. If I could move the king actually and walk the other pawn up, that would be pretty nice. Because then there wouldn't be any other pawns to contest this one. Okay, I'll just take here. I might have to just give this pawn up at some point. No, I don't want to do that. I think I'd rather push it, have him take en passant, and take back, if anything. But if he just pushes instead of taking, that's where it could be tricky, because if he just turns it into a passed pawn, it would be harder to deal with. Right, so, but for now, his light square bishop is under attack. I guess the knight can just guard it here. Bishops are really strong in the endgame. Like, I traded mine off, but when you have both bishops on these diagonals just covering everything, the bishop pair, it just is pretty powerful a lot of times. Okay, do I activate the king more? He has this square, that's a check. Yeah, I want to free this rook up, and I don't really want to just lose the pawn. So I think I will push it. If he creates a passed pawn, that probably is a good idea for him. Actually, I just noticed that I saw this check, but I didn't realize it actually forks the pawn here. So that might be what he plays. I didn't notice that at first. Oh no, it doesn't work because then I just... No, does it work? Here, here, I take the knight. No, because then I take the bishop, so it doesn't work. I don't think. Because the knight is the only defender of the bishop. Alright, so yeah, now I really do want to move this rook, and then also I'll be able to move my knight. If I could get both rooks up here and attack this pawn in front of the king with checks and threaten the bishops, that would be really nice. So maybe that's what I should really focus on. So maybe come up here, go here, come here, go here. But that's quite a few moves, so that would be ideal though. I want to be able to push this pawn, so I think I do want to get the king over. Okay, he just defends the knight. Alright, let's just go here right away. I guess maybe he's preparing to push this as a pass pawn. Preparing the rook behind it. So I might have to block that with something. Yeah, he's pushing it. What can we do here? I'm able to attack with the knight. If I take with the knight, he goes here. Then I go here. Don't know if that works. Okay, I might just have to block it here. Okay, I'm just going to do that because I don't have too much time to figure it out. He can push. So maybe I do want to keep the knight actually here because it cuts off his bishop from guarding if he pushes. So then if I drop both rooks back, it might be tricky for him to fully defend it. Okay, now he goes for that check. Take. But he can't take this because then I take. I think. Actually, I think did he get himself in trouble because the bishop is hanging, and the pawn I will be able to take. I think. Actually, no, because if the knight moves, if the knight goes back actually to where it came from, he might be okay. Because then he has the two defenders. Oh no, it doesn't work. Okay, he just checks again. What does that check do? I just go here. I mean, he's threatening the pawn over there. On the edge. I don't think that's a major concern. I'm just going to go over. I mean, he will be able to start pushing it, but I think I can take this one. I believe. Actually, and the bishop's still hanging, so actually that's a bigger priority for him. He takes that, then I take the bishop still. Bishop's hanging, and the pawn is under attack 3 times. Does he have more checks? I don't think he has more checks. What does he have? Yeah, no, I think it might have got him in some trouble. I want to take the bishop or take the pawn with the knight. Although actually, if he moves the knight again, I can't take the pawn with the knight. Is there a discovered? Yeah, there's a discovered, so I guess I'm not sure if I can take it. Might need to move the king. Okay, I'm just going to take it because I have no time. But I think that might actually get me in trouble. But yeah, the time trouble might mess me up here. Because that is going to be a discovered attack. So is he able to just go there? I guess, no, because then I just take the knight that way with the king. So maybe it is fine. I didn't have time to fully calculate that. I just had to play. I lost a lot of time when I was away from the computer earlier. I think I was away for like 2 minutes or something. So, okay. I'm just going to go back. It's defended twice. It's attacked twice. Another check. Going to attack the knight. Again, I don't have time to calculate much here, so. Now it's attacked twice and defended once, but his knight's attacked as well, so. Maybe I want to go here because the knight is kind of pinned to the rook. Okay. Alright, let's just go here and just take the rook trade, I guess, just to play something. I mean, he's still attacking this pawn. Could come here afterward. No, I can't come there because I'm going to take back that way. Assuming he takes. Let's see. Yeah, he takes. Okay, I guess he's going to take the pawn. Now his only pass pawn is this one. Okay, so what do I want to do? I think maybe push. Now let's get the knight back in. Knight back in. Can't push this pawn yet. Could go here with check, but I could take, so that doesn't work. Okay, attacking that pawn. Go here, take. That's probably fine with me. Because this pawn is kind of intimidating. He takes, and then I take. I mean, he probably won't do that, though. I don't know what else he might go for, though. Still, I could trade if he goes for that check. How does he defend this? He goes back for it. Defending it. Okay. Then I'm just going to go here. Maybe get the king more active. Keep this bishop tied to this pawn, that will be good. And then we can just avoid the dark squares because that's the bishop that he can still move. And then we push our pawn maybe. If I could attack this, that would be really nice. Maybe here, knight moves here, attack it that way. Well, I think he's going to just trade the knight. Okay, his time's low now too, so at least I'm not the only one under a minute at the moment. So now we have to play it like a bullet game. Oh, he moves. Where do I want to go? I'm just going to go here. So now if he takes, I take. He's able to take the pawn, but then I would take his pawn. And if I can get rid of his pass pawn, might have a decent chance of drawing it here. I think it would be hard to get a win, but since I'm down to a material. And the knight still... Okay, he just checks there. Should I just take... No, let's just go here. He could check again. I mean, I'll take a draw if he's going to repeat. Although it was here before. But if he checks here, yeah, I think I would go back. Oh no, then he is double attacking. But again, though, if he does take and play a non-checking move, then I think I'll just take his pass pawn. Also, this pawn is actually pinned. Okay, let's go here. Because I am threatening to take, and he can't take back right take here, I think. Oh, he's about to run out of time, and he runs out. That's kind of crazy, actually. Because I was so much lower on time than him, and he was winning, but he couldn't figure out how to convert it, and he took a little too long. Okay, he wants a rematch. Should I actually play the rematch? Okay, I'm going to play the rematch, and I may or may not put it in the video if the video is too long. Okay. Playing the rematch here. If I put all this in the video, it'll be a long one. I'll have to do the game reviews after. This time I got white. Okay, this time I'm playing the London, because he was playing the London last time. Alright, let's go. Let's just go for c4. He played the copycat bishop. He's probably used to the regular London. He's probably not as used to playing c4. Yeah, I typically just drop back here. He probably won't take because if he plays the London regularly, he probably knows that. Oh no, he does take. Yeah, generally it's pretty good if you can get this file open, especially if you can like pair it with the bishop here, or maybe the queen if I challenge this, and then we trade. Okay, he is maybe gonna get in this outpost, but I could kick him. Let's go here. Or should I go here first? Here, go back. So I have check here. Blocks with the knight. Don't have a way to double attack that. Yeah, let's be better on time this game. I mean, last time I did lose a decent amount because I was actually away from the computer a couple minutes, so that did make a difference. Hopefully, I will not have to do that this time. I think I'm just going to keep it simple and just challenge this bishop here. And then look to take back with the queen, maybe have some pressure on this pawn. If his knight does hop into the outpost, I could either challenge it with my knight or try to kick him with a pawn. Okay, he does hop in. Do I want to challenge him with my knight? Take. Take, I take with the queen. We're still guarding the bishop. Or do I kick him? He can't go anywhere here. He would be able to actually just take that pawn though. What if I kick the bishop first? Bishop goes back. Pawn is safe. Then I kick the knight. Then maybe I try to castle queenside. Not sure actually. Simpler idea would probably just be to try to go here actually and just try to trade. Okay, I'm just going to go for that. Because pushing all these pawns seems a little bit questionable. Just play more principled. And simply, if I don't see a clear tactic or win, then probably shouldn't play some crazy stuff. Okay, so we have a nice pawn structure going here. We have this extra pawn that he chooses to take. And I think I'll just take that back with the bishop on this active diagonal. I can always drop back and challenge his again too. Could also take it with the queen with check, probably. Here, here, take. Kind of like that as well. Here, here, take. We're still threatening to trade, so there's no extra dropping back with the bishop. Queen gets active right away. As long as I don't mess something up and then end up losing the bishop. Like if he could attack my queen while blocking. Don't think so. So I think I'd like that. Or I go here, bishop's lined up here, queen comes here, we attack there. Maybe that's nice as well. Okay, once again, I think I'll just keep it simple because this is kind of fancier, but I don't see I don't see the position as being much better. So let's simply take with the bishop. And then this seems pretty good to me. We're not threatening anything over here right away. Okay, actually, I mean, now we do have this pressure. He doesn't have a knight to defend it. The rook's still open. So I think I'll drop back and just challenge him there. Either that or here he goes back. Can the knight get rid of the bishop? Ooh, I think the knight might be able to get rid of the bishop. That would be best case scenario. Because then I could use my bishop and my queen both to attack. I mean, I could go here first right away. Immediately threaten mate. He pushes. He creates an escape square. And I could go here. No, I can't quite go there. Okay, let's just drop back, challenge him here, and we immediately have a mate threat. Again, just going with the simpler move. Because I'm not completely sure. Okay, he doesn't take. Interesting. So I think I'll go ahead and I'll take him. He will be able to bring this rook over, maybe put pressure here. Actually, the tricky thing is I don't want to castle queenside, but I do want this rook to stay here. But if I castle kingside, I lose my rook. My rook's ability to control this file. So maybe I'll end up doing something weird like just sliding over, but then the rooks aren't connected. I don't know if I do want to take. I don't know if I want to give him the rook there with my king lined up. I don't think I actually like that. So instead, I might just go for knight here and try to get him to take the bishop without opening this file, which seems beneficial to him since my king's in the center. Threatening here, which should induce the trade that we want. Okay, never mind, he just pins it. I mean, I'm able to take with check immediately. Ooh, could almost be nice. It would be better if I didn't even have the rook looking at it, because then I could take, and then if he does choose to take with the king, then I have check again. Discovered attack, I think, to win the bishop, but the king's going to slide over. Once the king slides over, so here, king slides over, then we have check again, so I slide back with check. The king needs to go over, so then I think I win the bishop either way, right? Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and take, because this bishop is just out here on its own, and we have some pieces all lined up. And then, yeah, he has to slide over. I'm going to get another check, and I think I can just take the bishop there. Anything more powerful, though? Can I threaten a mate immediately? Don't think so, but I think just going here. I mean, he could block. Okay, anything else? No, I think just take. And now if we can clear the way, we can get our queen over there. And then have a really nice threat. Okay, is that a good threat? Here. I want my queen over here somewhere, but the pawn is blocking it. So maybe, how do I get my queen there in the most efficient way possible? Would there be a sacrifice here? So if my king is not here, if my king is up, check, over, check, over. Don't quite see that working. I'd like to also be able to maybe use these pawns to break up his position here. Like, I'm up quite a bit. I'm just trying to figure out how to win this, how to actually finish the job here. I'm not totally sure yet. Yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely don't want a castle here because I want my rook right there. And my bishop's kind of in the way now. I think I need to move the knight. Knight here. If he takes, okay, if he takes, we just trade the queens, or threaten to trade the queens and go into an endgame when I'm up material. So let's just do that. I want the knight to be out of the way. I want the queen to be able to get over here. The knight and the bishop are kind of cramming things up. And I mean, I could always threaten stuff on this side of the board, but I think with the exposed king, I should put all my resources to coming over this way. So if bishop is gone, I wonder if I should just go bishop here, get him to take back with the queen. That's an immediate. Ooh, actually, I like that. I think I should have done that maybe on the last move. Oh no, because the knight was still on the way. So now that the knight's gone, I think I kind of like bishop here. If he takes, I take back. We're threatening mate. He doesn't even have any good way to defend it, I don't think. Because I'm already up +4, so even if I sack the bishop for the pawn, we're still up material. And his king is completely exposed. It's blocked in by the rook. Yeah, this is the next move I want to play, I think. I might take one more look at it. Let's see what he plays, though. I mean, if he takes the knight, then we just take back, and I guess we'll just trade down. But I don't think he'll want to take the knight, given that I'm up quite a bit of material. But he's taking his time. Yeah, I want to open this up. Actually, if he goes there... Oh, the king moves forward. Interesting. Okay, so I could just trade. He takes back with a pawn. Then it's my turn again. Then I could play here. Do I want to keep the knight here, though? Does it do anything for me? If I go here, the knight does control this square, but I don't think I need this square controlled. Okay, I'm thinking take first. Because if he does take my knight, he does open up kind of this queen trade option. I'm thinking take first and then here. Because the knight doesn't seem super necessary in the attack. It's only looking at these pawn squares. Do I still have the same threat though? So if the knight's traded, I go here, he takes, I take. Still threatening that, but it's not quite mate. Because he can come down there. Okay, well let's just take the knight either way. Don't know how to cover this square though. Since he did bring his king forward. Now he kind of has this escape path that could come into play. Could also go here, but that is not supported by anything yet. What about, once again, up, here, over, over. No, I don't see anything there yet. Could just simply play it for the in-game, attack this pawn. If he pushes, we take. We try to trade. He could defend the pawn. I could still come over here for the mate threat. Okay, let me think about this more. Take, take, take. Threatening this check. He does come down here. What checks do I have? I have this check. You know, I mean, I would be able to just force the queen trade if I really wanted to, but I think I should be able to win something. There, check, he comes down. Yeah, I can check here. But I could also bring the rook up to check here, but still he escapes. I'll be putting a lot of pressure on everything. Yeah, I don't know how to cover that square. I don't see a way to. Guess I could cover it like this right away, but it's not supported. Try to push the pawn maybe. Should I do this move though? I think I probably shouldn't right now because I just can't see a way to prevent the escape route. But maybe if I push the pawn here. Yeah, let's push the pawn. Let's see what happens if we push the pawn. To prepare it. Prepare to cover this square. So if I could cover that square with the pawn, then I would be prepared to go ahead and play that. Sacrifice the bishop. It might be good either way, I'm not sure. Okay. I don't see any big threat from him putting the rook there. Let's cover this square. Alright, king is looking like he doesn't have a lot of places to go. I wonder if he'll try to bring his queen down here. Maybe he'll do that. No, he doesn't. He brings it there, where it's not really threatening anything. I think I was a little more concerned about this. I mean, I guess I could kick him with that. Yeah, maybe I could just do that. Okay, so now here, 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 threatening mate. How does he defend it? I guess rook can come over. The rook can come over. Here, here. Still not quite seeing it work because the rook's able to come over now. Before, when the king was back, he didn't have that option. So I think by bringing the king forward, he did give himself a lot more options here. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice yet. I think I might even just try to get trades here. Maybe I should I even just castle and just play for the center and play for the endgame? Because I don't see a good way to continue attacking on the h-file with his rook's ability to defend. Unless I could bust it open with a pawn. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to defend the bishop and drop back and attack his pawn. Let's just do that for now and see what he does. So at least I don't have a hanging bishop and create room for tactics. And I really have to figure out what to do with the king. It's either I castle and just get the king safe, play for the endgame, or I do some kind of king into the center thing to connect the rooks. But I need to connect them, so. Oh, interesting. So Now the queen is not defending. Does that change it though? The rook can still defend. If he takes, I take. Rook defends. He has two defenders there. Wait, I could just go check. Actually, yeah, I could just go check. He could still go over. No, but then I can take the rook. With check, he comes down, I win the other rook. Okay, I think it does work, right? I mean, he might just not take the bishop to begin with. But if he doesn't take the bishop, maybe I take... Yeah, I don't know, actually, he might just not take it. Which would... Yeah. I don't think I could even do anything, actually, if he doesn't take it. So maybe it's kind of pointless. Here, he doesn't take, what can I do? I can take, but then he takes and just opens the rook up. And then the king still has that little bit of cover. I mean, I am able to take the pawn I'm threatening. Is he threatening? I mean, yeah, he's threatening that pawn with check, so... let's just... Let's just put the queen here. We guard this and we still threaten almost a mate. Yeah, that would be a mate in two. Okay, let's just go there. Wasn't even thinking of attacking on the dark square here right off the bat. Don't even really need to do the sacrifice. I only looked at this after I realized I wanted to guard the pawn, and then I realized I could also have a mate in two threat. I believe, right? Because he goes back, yeah, that's mate in two. If he doesn't do something about it. Okay, he does something about it. Probably we'll just take trades here. And just play for the endgame. Anything else I can go for here? No, because he takes with check, so I definitely need to take here. Yeah, gotta take. I'm gonna have to bring the king up because I can't castle, and we need to defend the rook there. So king comes up. King is pretty safe here, I think. Yeah, he does have that check, but I don't see what it leads to. I'm still threatening to snag this pawn over here. Can't try to get the rook trade yet. Can't try to get the queen trade yet. I mean, if we could trade the queens and just have the rooks and my bishop, that would be looking pretty good. It might be tricky to force the queen trade. And honestly, his king is pretty safe now. So I think we got what we could out of that attack for now. I don't see a way to follow up on it. So I think we just play for the endgame here. Okay, that's guarded. I don't see a threat from that. Yeah, I'm not sure what the threat is here. Because this is guarded. I mean, I guess... yeah, I don't know. Let's probably just take the pawn. I mean, this is still guarded. This is guarded, this is guarded. His rook and his queen are very disconnected. I only have a couple weaknesses. Like, this is a weakness, but it's guarded. This is a weakness, but it's guarded. This is a weakness, but it's guarded. I don't see any major issues, so let's go ahead and take the pawn. Hopefully, there's not some major threat that I'm missing there. Oh, I guess there was a major threat. I didn't see that. That he had check. Yeah, that was nice. I mean, I'm still gonna be up material. Could go here. Then he takes there. Then I try to take the trade. And then he will be threatening to take here. So here, he's double attacking that. I do think if I go here and then here, that at least helps a little bit. Yeah, this is why I want to trade the queen off, because you miss stuff like that. So here, here. Actually, I do think I prefer this, because then he gets another check. No, but he can still come here to attack it. So, okay, let's just block this way. He'll take. I can try to block it or whatever I need to do. Okay, probably block it here. See, very quickly from that one blunder, though, he went from his pieces not being coordinated and mine all being guarded to now there's some more pressure going on here. This is still guarded. This is guarded if I go here. He has this check again. I probably will just come up or something. Okay, let's go there. I could force a rook trade on this file somehow. That would be excellent. Because his rook can't go anywhere really. But I don't have a way to protect this square. Okay, he checks again. I definitely don't want to draw. If I go here, does he have any checks? See, these are the trickiest positions for me, is trying to find all the queen checks in kind of open positions. My king's exposed. Here. No, I don't think he has any checks. Doesn't have any on the dark squares. Doesn't have any on the horizontals. Yeah, so I think this seems alright. I mean, I'm not defending the pawn anymore, but I can defend it with the rook or something. Or just move the king again to defend it. The queen is defending here. How safe is it if I come here? That actually seems somewhat safe. I mean, you can't really check me there for now with the pawn. It might be safe to come up to here. Okay. Attacking the rook. So he might be able to take there. I think I'll probably go here. He can take, I can block. Then at least my rook is coming back in the game, getting everything more connected. But yeah, is there anything I can play that would threaten him? Oh wait, I do have just check here. Didn't even notice that. Wait, how many moves did I have that for? I had that since here he played down. That was check. Okay, so I only had that for this move. So if I play check here, there's a couple squares he can go to. Do I have another check? Depending on where he goes. If he goes to a light square, I don't have a... Oh no, I do have checks here. Should I just use my checks? Let's probably just use the checks. Either that or I go here, and then he takes with check, and then I'm playing defensively. Okay, I'm just going to use this check first, and then I can maybe come over here after or something. Okay, I have more checks. I have this. This, he comes back down. Don't think I have anything after that, so I'm not sure if there's a point to it, because I still have to guard my rook. So I think I will probably go here first to guard the rook. This is hanging, and this is hanging. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Now, if he does take here, I maybe could reclaim this. No, but then he's double attacking that. I know I am twice defending it. I almost want my king to be further up in here to get it safer, it seems like. Okay, he does take that, so maybe I go here now. This is twice defended. Then I would be threatening mate right away. Does he have checks? He has this check. King over, threatening the rook. Okay, I think there might be some threats I can create. I just have to... I think he only has that... No, he has this check. He has just taken the pawn with check. Then I come up. Should I go up first? Here? Does he have check? No, he doesn't have check here. Oh, but he has check there. Here. 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 But then I have here. Okay, I'm just gonna play this. Kind of sketchy though. It's quite sketchy. Him winning my bishop totally put it back to almost an even game. But we're threatening mate in 1, but he's gonna have checks though, so. If I can escape his checks and still be threatening mate in 1, then that will be nice. Okay, he goes for that check, so now I go up, he takes here, we can't do that. So I need to go here. Where do I go? Here to continue guarding, but then he has more checks. If I go here, he does have this check. But he might start running out. No, I can never go here though, that's the problem. If I ever cross here, then he can take there. Okay, I'm gonna go here. So he has check there. Again, I can't go there. Can't block. So maybe actually checking with my queen was a mistake because it got it so far from being able to defend me. I could go here. Actually, yeah, let's go here because then I'm still defending the pawn. No, but he can take it. Never mind. He can still take it because it's twice attacked. So I have to go here. Twice defend it. Okay. Do I go up? Do I go down? Does he just keep having checks? If I go down, he checks here. Wait, but then I can threaten the rook, right? Okay, I'm gonna try going down. If he takes, I just need one move. So if I can get one move, I might risk it by going down. No, but then if he checks and I go down here, he checks again. Oh yeah, then I take the rook and I'm guarding mine actually. So yeah, we're fine. I think we're fine. Okay, let's try. Oh wait, no, never mind. Oh no, we're good. We're good. We're twice guarding it. For a second, I thought that he just had mate, but my queen is still guarding. That would not be good if I had blundered a mate in 1. Okay, so we are threatening the rook. Yeah, these kind of positions are so hard for me. By missing the bishop and getting my king so exposed, it completely brought the game back to being totally even though I had a nice advantage at the start. But we still are threatening mate in 1, so we're guarding his mate in 1 threat. We're attacking the rook. The rook doesn't have anywhere to run. So the rook is trapped, right? So I might have him. He might be in trouble. Okay, he just takes, so then I take. So we just win the rook. We're not threatening mate in 1 anymore, but now we're back up to +4. Okay, so that did it. We got a tactic to win the rook. Now we're in a nice position again. And he won't, all he has is the queen, so he won't really be able to do much. And he's not even threatening any pawns right now, so that's guarded, that's guarded, that's guarded. So I don't think he has much. And I have this check. He'll come down or something. How can I get my queen over there quickly? I don't know. I just want to trade the queen off because when the queen's on the board, I'm still at risk of like something weird, like a skewer or something like that. Or maybe a fork on the king and the rook. Okay. I could block or just go up. I think I'm just going to go up. That's still guarded. That's guarded. Might just play checks just to get time back too. Okay. Where do we want to go? Go here. Yes, check. Let's just give. Should I push this pawn? He takes. Okay, let's just attack his queen here. Where does this queen even go? Goes back to here or something. Can't go here. Could go up to here. I could go back to threatening a mate though. But then he might start checking again. I don't want to get checked again. Okay, maybe I come here. Then he doesn't really have checks. He does have that. Go here. He has check here. I come up. He doesn't have anything after that. Okay. I'm going to threaten the mate once again. And I think he'll go with a check, but once I come up, I don't think he has anything. I mean, we're threatening a queen trade or mate. Okay, gives the check, which is what I figured, and then I think once I go here, he doesn't have a check. He only has that. So we're still threatening mate. He could take, no, he can't even take that. Wait. Okay, now if I give check, he goes to there. Then I could go here. He goes to here. Can't quite win with that. But let's just check anyway. Oh, I can take here too. I think I like that. So here he comes down. Alright, let's take this way. Okay, can't take that yet. Let's just give another check for now. Looking for some kind of queen trade. Where's queen trade here? But I still don't want to start getting checked by his queen again. Okay, I think I like this. Because he doesn't have many squares to go to. Because he can't go there, he can't go there. He has to go over, and then I think I just have mate. No, because he blocks, so we get the queen trade. Okay. Yeah. He goes over, I check, he blocks, we take the queen, and then he probably should just resign, because I'll have a rook. So, I might actually get a new high rating. Let's see, there's not a mate, right? Yeah. There's not. Wait, he went here? He can't even block by going here. So that means it is a mate. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to go up and then be able to block. I mean, I would have won either way, but... So, we played 2 games. Okay, he's asking for another rematch. I can't do another one. I'm just going to type to him. I just said, GG, those were close games. Yeah, they were really close. And we got a new high rating, 1237, which I think is a couple points higher than my previous high. This is going to be a long video. Let's go ahead and check the game reviews. I think because I just played this one, I'll probably check this one first and then go back to the original game after. So it might be a little weird, the sequence in the video. But let's just do that because I just played this one, so it kind of makes more sense to check this one first. Okay. Oh, my game review is not showing up. Let's fix that. Okay, there we go. So I had pretty decent accuracy. Normally in messy games like that, my accuracy is a little lower, so I think 81.9, pretty happy with that. We do have a blunder. He has 2 blunders. And 1700 game rating. He had a 1500 game rating. Had a couple misses as well. My one blunder must have been the bishop fork that I failed to see, and I had a couple great moves. I mean, great is not a big deal. I think it's not like the same as a brilliant, but I think great is just a best move that also was like super important that you played it in order to get an advantage or maintain an advantage. Okay, let's go ahead and go through the moves. Try to go a little bit quicker since I have 2 games to go through here. Alright, everything's straightforward here. C4 is best. Dropping back, it prefers taking, but dropping back's fine. I mean, I guess the engine, it doesn't matter to the engine, but against real players, I tend to find this really helpful. I almost always, when I have this open, almost always find a way to create a lot of pressure over there, so I like dropping it back. Okay, it didn't like this so much. It prefers the knight out first. Um, yeah, I guess normally it's knights before bishops to develop. Anyways, I just figured let's challenge him right away and maybe immediately get some pressure here, which, you know, if the knight isn't blocking this, we can probably take a pawn right away with the rook and trade the rooks off and immediately be up a pawn, and he has kind of a weak king side. So that was the idea, but yeah, normally knights are better in principle. That was a mistake. What? Because I can kick him. So it did want me to kick him with the pawn, but I thought he would just take here. So I need to see what would happen there. So if he goes there and I kick him, okay, yeah, that's a mistake. So that's not what it wanted me to do. But it says I'm able to kick him. So maybe it does want me to play the idea that I had, but it was a little complicated, so I decided to go for simple, which was this. Okay, it did want me to go for this idea. And then we kick him. So we kick both pieces back. Knight comes back, we take up a little more space, and I guess maybe we plan to castle this way. Okay, and then it wants me to trade. He can't take that way, so he has to take that way. Ooh, actually that's nice, because then we kind of split his pawns up. We create several weak pawns there, because this pawn is pinned. So yeah, he has to take this way. And now white is almost up +1, plus 0.87. Kick the knight again. He has to go back again. Yeah, I mean, okay, this looks pretty good. I couldn't calculate that far, and it just looked kind of weird. I thought if I were playing a little riskier, I felt like playing safer moves for the most part today. So if I were playing a little bit riskier, I probably would have played this, kick him back, and then go for this. But it was too hard to see like precisely what's going to happen after here. But I guess it was pretty safe because he didn't have anywhere else to hop. Well, he could have hopped here. Was this? No, it's not threatening much. Rook can come up. Then where does he go? Then he's trapped actually. So that doesn't work. He would trap himself. Yeah, I think I was worried about random stuff like that that's hard to visualize if there's any threats there. Like forcing the rook to move, then you can't castle, but no, because it traps him, it's totally fine. But let me just confirm that it traps him. I'm pretty sure it does. Let's see. That should be a mistake. Yeah, because we can win the knight. Okay, so that does trap him. So this line, yeah, that's interesting to me that this was the way to go, though, because I was strongly considering it. But I decided not to just because it's hard to see, and it gets a little messy, maybe. Okay, he did want me to take the pawn back. Wanted me to take his bishop first. Oh, and then I take the pawn with the queen after? No, it wants me to push here? No, that only says good. I'm always confused when the arrows tell me not the best move. Okay, so I think check, right? Excellent. Doesn't say best, but excellent. And then we do take the pawn back. Okay, so we trade first, give him the double pawns, and then take back after. I was thinking of taking back with the queen, but I wasn't thinking of trading first and then doing it. So I should have actually considered that. It does seem like if I saw that, I probably would have gone for that. Okay, that was a mistake. Can win a pawn through a fork. Oh wait, what's the fork? Oh, is it like take, take? Oh yeah, I see. We threaten mate and threaten the pawn. Okay, I wouldn't have seen that though, I don't think. It's kind of hard to see that kind of stuff. Because I would have assumed that something could defend both of them, probably. Like the queen could defend them both, but no, I mean, now that I see it says you can do it, it's easy to find it. That we take, the pawn is loose, we're threatening mate, and he doesn't have a way to defend both. So that would have been a good little tactic. So that was one of my 2 misses. This was his blunder, yeah, and because we had check, back, win the bishop. So I was feeling good about this. We were up a lot, and we only ended up kind of getting in a bad position once I actually lost my own bishop to that later tactic where it was just a simple fork with the queen. But at this point, we were looking really good. Okay, didn't like the trade. What did it want? It wanted me to castle. Okay. You know what? I was really considering castling earlier. I was thinking I've exhausted the strength of this open file. I don't see much more use in it, and I might castle. And I was really considering that. It felt like a safe move to go for. But I ultimately decided not to and just to trade down. Yeah, because that's what led to all my king problems. If I had castled here, it might have saved me from all my king problems. His queen is too far to ever come over here and threaten anything. I mean, he could try to double the rooks, it looks like. But I can guard, I think. I mean, that is a pretty significant threat, because that would be mate if he could double the rooks. So I would have been a little scared of that. But it looks like, what does it want me to play? Here? I think I know what it wants me to play. I think it wants me to go, because with the rooks, he can only get mate on h1. So if I push this, and then he doubles, and then I push this, g3, so g4, rook h8, g3, and then the bishop guards h1. So I think that's the idea. But I would have had to play that, right? Let me guard that. Okay, that would have been, and then that's a great move because it's probably the only move that couldn't hold the position together and not get checkmated. So I would have been a little bit scared of that with castling, but I think after this, I mean, I have a plus 5.36 advantage. So yeah, we're looking solid there. So castling might have been the realistic way to have approached this and be a little safer. Although the engine still says that, you know, this is best. I think I was fine except for, because I did actually feel fairly safe here until I made this blunder. I totally missed this. I did not see that at all. I need to like practice just scanning all the queen squares and being able to see them quicker, because it's a pretty major weakness. When there's an open position with a queen, I always am just blundering forks and all kinds of stuff, different checks that I don't see. If I could solve that, it would really help me in a lot of different games where I get in trouble when the king gets exposed. But I think it's pretty difficult because you have to visualize a lot of different stuff. Okay, so here we play a couple moves just guarding the pawns, trying to get safe. Okay, the check was best there. And then okay, that was best with the rook, so we're guarding so that if he takes, we can block with the threat and the queen, so we still have some tempo. And the queen, I guess he could check again. I could probably walk over here or something like that, but he didn't go for that. Instead, he took over here first, which was best. Then I took the open file, which was best. And yeah, we're still drawn right now. So everything was okay. The position was holding together. I was still at +1, but it is drawn on the eval. It's actually exactly 0.0, so I wonder if that means there's a forced perpetual check. Because normally if it's exactly 0.0, there's a perpetual check somewhere. Yeah, there might be. I'm not sure though. And then check. Does it change? No, it's still 0.0. Alright, going up was best. Down was best. That was great. Some of these great moves were just defensive moves. That was great. We go down. This was best. Yeah, and then this plan worked out really well. The plan was he checks. He keeps trying to check. I come down. We're threatening the rook. And then, I mean, we end up just being able to win the rook. That was his blunder, yeah. Because then I trapped the rook. So it wanted him to come up and check here so that I couldn't come down and trap the rook. So that's a threat I don't think he was aware of, that the rook could get trapped there. Then he just gives it up the rook because it was going to be gone anyway. And then now we're back to winning. It did want me to go ahead and check here, but I didn't know what to do after the first check. So I decided let's just try to attack the queen first. Okay, we have this. Are we threatening a mate right there? Not quite, but it's probably like almost a mate. But I just wanted to be moving with checks, or like major threats like the queen threat, and he didn't have any. Well, he had that check, but that wasn't that significant. I like this idea. We try to get the queen trade with the threat of mate. He goes back with the check. We come up. I calculated this. I mean, it was only like 2 moves of calculation, but I realized there's no other checks here, and then I'm still threatening mate, and then at this point it was over. It even says mate and 8 there. Although I didn't find the quickest mate. The quickest mate was apparently to come here and threaten it this way. But I just wanted to take with check, so that's what I did. Alright, that was best. That was best. and then, I mean, he was over. He was done for anyway. Wait, I have mate in 2 either way? I thought I was just going to get the queen trade. I thought if he goes here... Oh, I can check there. Then he comes down, and then I have mate. Okay. I wasn't looking at that. So if he had played this, I wouldn't have seen that, I don't think. Wasn't looking at this square. I would have played this, and then just taken... Is there still mate in 2? Oh yeah, there is still mate in 2. I would have probably just taken the queen trade, and then just played it from there. Because I would assume he could just keep blocking and stuff. Mate in 1. Oh yeah, because we just take here and it's guarded. Okay. So he couldn't stop the mate. Yeah, I would have probably just traded it because I didn't realize that I could just mate in a couple more moves. But either way, we were totally winning. So yeah, a pretty straightforward game. It was mostly decided by those 2 tactics. My tactic to win his bishop. Or no, 3 tactics. My tactic to win his bishop. His to win my bishop back later. And then I got in a little bit of trouble with his queen and his rook. And then the tactic of walking the king back and winning the rook is what got us the win there at the end, I think. And then we had like a nice little simple checkmate, chased him over to the corner and got the checkmate. And yeah, that was a good one. Let's go ahead and go back to the first game and go through that real quick, even though it's not as fresh in my mind, which was also with the same guy. Okay, so this one, he had better accuracy, and I only won because he actually just completely ran out of time. So, even though he was still winning at the end. I had a feeling that once it got really low on time, I'm a little bit more, because I get low on time all the time and I find myself in these like 1 minute time crunches, and I do blunder a lot in them and they mess me up, but I'm like fairly used to being in them. So once I saw him go below a minute, I felt kind of good about that. Like I could probably flag him or do something to cause him to mess up. I can probably play a bit quicker than him at the end like that. And I didn't expect him to actually just fully lose on time, but he did. And let's see. So yeah, this one says I had 75.7. He had 78.6 accuracy. Neither of us had a blunder. We both had a miss, and I had 4 mistakes. So that's quite a few mistakes. And 1600 game rating, and he had 1400 game rating. So yeah, it looks like I had a lot of significant mistakes that just weren't quite counted as blunders. Although he had 11 in accuracy, so he just had more smaller inaccuracies, and I had more big mistakes. It looks like. Okay, let's go through the moves here. So I am not very familiar with like how... Okay, so that is the book move. I'm not super familiar with how you play like c5 against the London, but I know that it can be really effective. That was inaccurate of him to take. Okay, and this is where I messed up. I didn't know what to do from here, so I should have pushed the pawn. Let's see what it wants after that. Wait, actually, let me see what the eval was. So after I played this, yeah, white has a little bit of an advantage. Nothing crazy, even though he's up the pawn. I just have the good center control, though. So I think that's kind of the idea, is you undermine white's center, even though they're up the pawn. But pushing, kicking the knight back. Oh yeah, because he doesn't have any of these squares, right? No, he does have them. Wait, if he goes there, check. Oh yeah, no, he doesn't, because then if he goes back to block the check, then the pawn just takes. So he does have to go back. Can't go here. Okay, that's really good to know. So if I'm playing against the London in the future, I'm not sure if I'll remember that unless I go over it again. I'll see if I can remember that. So played the early c5, and then if he takes, then we just push. We kick the knight. He has to go back. Otherwise, we have these little forking threats if he tries to come over here. Okay, that's really good to know, actually, if I can remember that next time. Instead, we just connect the pawns. He connected this. This seemed weird to me. I didn't know exactly how to address it, but it seemed weird. Okay, it still wants me to push here. Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't actually consider that at all. That was not even... I don't think that was even on my mind. Pushing that one. I was focused more on pushing this one for some reason. But this makes sense. We kick the knight and take up a lot more space. Yeah. Oh wait, I think I was still worried actually if I played this right now. Okay, so it's inaccurate to play right here. Yeah, I was still worried about this. And in fact, yeah, I don't have a way to defend it. So it didn't work at that moment. it worked right here because I still have the threat of the fork. Once I block, what was it? Oh yeah, no, once he played this and removes the threat of the fork, now this is actually a serious threat that I can't address with the queen. So now playing d4 with the pawn doesn't work anymore. Okay, so that's the key distinction there. I had to just go through that a little bit so I can understand, because I do want to remember this for playing against the Lund in the future. Okay, now finally I play this. And then he does go back. Yeah, I was surprised that he went back. I thought he would go... I think here didn't work, right? Did that trap him or something? Yeah, I think this would have trapped him. Yeah, because then I go there. No, it doesn't quite trap him. But I would be able to win the pawn here. Okay, I think that didn't work, but I'm surprised he didn't play something else like this, like it wants him to play. But then this was a mistake. It wanted me to just develop, get the bishop into the game. I felt pretty intimidated by him playing g4 here. Or no, not g4, b5. I felt pretty intimidated by him playing b5, kicking the knight. And the knight's the defender here, so if I played bishop here, then he plays this. Oh, then I get the check back. That's why. So this check was very essential, whether I had it or not. The presence of this check, this fork, on anything that came on the b5 square was very significant, and it was something I was basically overlooking for a while. So I was trying to defend those kind of threats in other ways. So yeah, if I played there, comes here, block, we take, threatening this pawn to take back. Okay, so that would put us in a really nice position. So that threat was not legitimate, and I didn't need to play this if I had seen that. Okay, that's a mistake. And it just wanted me to develop. Yeah, developing the bishop would have been good. Yeah, why is this a mistake? Because I block, and no, move a piece of safety. So it wants me to kick again. What was I concerned about with pushing here? Concerned about hanging this pawn? Yeah, I think that's what it was, right? So if I push here, he takes. Oh, never mind. I still have two. Okay. I still have two defenders then. And he has two attackers. I think I was concerned about him just taking the pawn in the game. I thought I considered this, and I thought he would take it. So I must have failed to see, if I'm remembering that correctly, because it was the first game, I must have failed to see that I actually just was able to defend it. So I should have pushed that. And now I've blocked in my bishop's development, which I didn't want to do, but I felt like I needed to guard this guy. Okay. Yeah, that didn't like that. He made the escape square. He escaped the knight in time. He wants the light square bishop to come out first and guard the knight. Instead, I brought the queen out because I wanted to make space for the dark square bishop. Nothing crazy is happening, but it's a lot of small inaccuracies by both of us here, it looks like, and some mistakes. Alright, that's great. That was my miss. Oh, wait. It wanted me to simply just do the same thing, but here. It's not something I thought about. Miss a better way to win material through a tactic. What did he end up playing? Oh yeah, he took here. Now he's winning. So that's kind of crazy that this is completely losing and this is completely winning. I'm not sure that I see the difference quite yet. Why is it different? It's either way he can take. What's different about those two squares? Maybe it's obvious, but he took with the bishop. I took. He took here. I took back. And then he was able to win the knight back. So yeah, it ended up just being a slightly losing sequence for me. I had this idea of jump back, and then once he takes with the king, then I kind of kick him back. Although I want him to come forward, actually. Oh, it really does not like that move. That's one of the big mistakes. +3 for white, plus 3.3. Oh, so let's go back a second here. I still want to know why this was so much better, because either way it seems the same to me. Okay, let's say he plays the same. Oh, because if he takes, I take back with the knight. Is that all it is? Instead of taking the rook? So I don't have to trade the queen. So yeah, okay. So I'm preventing him from taking the bishop with the queen by going here. So it wants him to take this way. Oh, then it gives me this. Kick the queen again. Okay, this is complicated though. I don't think I would have seen this. This extra pawn move to kick the queen to the side, and then we take. So that simply saved me. What did that save me? Oh yeah, because the knight's still under threat. So now when my knight takes the rook in the corner, he can try to trap it, but his knight is now under threat from a pawn. Okay, yeah, that was too complicated. It would have been really hard to have seen that. That tactic is too complicated. Maybe if I did it in a puzzle, I could figure it out, but in a game, all those small moves like pushing the pawn an extra move, putting the knight on the square here, figuring out the sequence of what he's going to take with, and the fact that if he takes back here, then I could take with the knight, and then I push the pawn, and then he goes to the side, and then I'm threatening. Actually, I guess maybe it's not that complicated, because this is just a fork. But it's a fork that you have to realize. I was focused on taking the rook. You have to realize that the knight's purpose maybe is to actually push this, get this fork, queen moves, and then take the rook, and then we're still threatening to take the knight. Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty complicated. Maybe I could have seen it if I really was calculating as hard as possible, like it was a puzzle or something. So instead we did this, but I mean, it's winning for white though, so it was pretty significant actually. Like the way that exchange played out was pretty significant because it wasn't just an equal trade. He ends up material, and then I made this mistake with the bishop. I thought I would be able to open this up somehow, but after he blocked this off, the bishop was totally helpless, and his knight became very powerful. So bishop should have come down. Come down and then maybe to here. So that makes sense that that was a significant mistake. Then the castling isn't an accuracy. It still just wants the bishop to get free. That doesn't want me to. It doesn't want me to guard. It wants me to push this pawn. Just quickly check what that's about. Okay, just to open the bishop up, I guess. Oh, I think I did consider doing that actually. And then I thought, okay, he takes. Then I go here, discovered attack on the rook. But once the rook moves, he's simply guarding here. And it doesn't seem as threatening. Oh, you know what? I guess I could push with check, and then we're one move from queening. Maybe that is okay. I don't think I considered actually pushing again. I was considering taking, but I thought, okay, he's going to guard it. So I didn't go for that idea. Let me see if that's what it wanted, though. So let's say if he let me see, push. Let's say he doesn't take. Let's say he just takes here. Then I go here. Oh, to challenge the bishop. Okay, then let's say he takes. Or no, then it's my turn. So then I go here. And it wants him to take and actually just give up the rook. That's a brilliant move. Okay. So if he didn't play the brilliant move, why is that brilliant? Let me see. It doesn't want me to even take. Not sure I understand the brilliant move there. What's the brilliant? Hold up. I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure out why this is brilliant. So what was it? It was right here. Right here. Then I push here. Then he takes. Let's just say he. No, here's my turn. So this is what I was considering was pushing. Then that's his brilliant move. Realistically, I don't think he's playing the brilliant move though, right? Oh, is it just because... Oh, because that's hanging. So if I take... Wait, why wouldn't he just take this right away, though? And then maybe try to create a discovered attack on my rook? No, I think he probably would just go here. That's most likely what he would play. And then I have this. He goes over. still +4 for white, so there's not really a way to do anything with this. Okay, yeah, I was just curious about that. Guard that. It was good. That was inaccurate of him to push the pawn. Yeah, I didn't feel like that did much for him. Then he trades. Okay, he got rid of my terrible bishop. I was happy about that. Now his advantage came down a little bit. He's back to 1.8 instead of like 4 or whatever it was. That was inaccurate. That was another mistake. It says you were keeping the balance, but that move makes your position worse. I don't know why. Wants me to go over. Yeah, some of these moves are not clear to me. Why is that such a bad move? I guess it's not, maybe it's not that this is so bad, it's just that getting the king over is really important. Perhaps. Okay, what if he just takes? That's a mistake because, oh, yeah, I didn't even notice this. Yeah, he doesn't have a way to defend the pawn then. Take. Take. Doesn't want him to even... Why not go back to here? Or to threaten checkmate. Oh, because these are cut off. Interesting. Okay, so there was a lot of complexity to this in-game position that was not being seen here. I would have liked to see that. That would have been nice to notice that I could actually just leave that hanging and then come over here after, threaten to take the pawn, and then be threatening mate. Yeah, I didn't... But what if he just kept the bishop here? Well, he doesn't have a way to defend it, though. And once I take here, this bishop has to move, and then, yeah, I'm still threatening mate, because the rook can't come over here and get behind it. The king's 2 squares away. 1, 2... Okay, yeah, that would have been really cool to see that, actually. And it does seem like the kind of thing that I could have actually realistically seen. So that's normally what I like to focus on the most in the game review, is stuff that I could have realistically actually come up with or seen. And I think this is definitely one of those things. So yeah, I would have liked to see that. That would have been nice. That totally immediately, after he plays that, gives me a minus 4.5 advantage instantly, just from him taking that pawn. And I was worried about the pawn. I was trying to defend it, but it gives me a 4.5 advantage. That's crazy. So let's go back to where we actually were when I simply just pushed the pawn to defend it. So that was right here. That's a mistake. Didn't realize how much potential I had in just letting him take. He probably would have taken. I don't think he would have seen all that. Probably would have just figured he'll drop back, find a way to get the pawn safe. No big deal. Okay, he takes there. Take back with the rook. The knight comes in. Now I'm getting kind of worried because my whole idea with these pawns was, you know, keep the knight out of the game. And now the knight's getting back in the game, and I haven't really progressed at all in a significant way. And now he has this passed pawn, so... Yeah, I was thinking it looks pretty bad here. Okay, I want him to check over that way. Yeah, he was doing a lot of these random knight checks. They didn't quite seem to do too much. We take the rook trade, just because I think I was just low on... Yeah, I was low on time and just was trying to quickly play something. Just get him to think... trade stuff off, and it worked pretty well because he started using up all his time. I mean, I was at like 10 seconds for a bunch of these moves, and he had several minutes, and he was totally winning, but he couldn't figure out what to do, and he used all his time up. That wasn't even a good move. The move that he ran out of time on that I played was just an inaccuracy. But he spent some time thinking, he couldn't figure out what to do, and then just ran out on the clock. So I guess I got pretty lucky on that one. Although I think in the second game, we had a pretty solid, legitimate victory. But now it says 12:30 here because this was the first game, but now I'm up to 12:37. So we did reach a new high. I had been stuck a little bit around the low 1200s, but now we're closing in on 1250. So I'm gonna try to get a couple more wins over the next few games. Hopefully, if I stay pretty focused and we can hit 1250, that would be nice. This has been a super long video because I did the rematch and the 2 game reviews. So it's almost 2 hours, but yeah, I think it was a good one. Pretty instructive. Had some good games, and we got our 2 wins. And this has been day 101, and I'll see you guys on day 102. Thanks for watching.